Welcome. This is Romola D from Romola D Reports, and I'm here this morning with Melanie Vritschan, President of ICATOR, with a very important update from her end. We've had major video problems and camera problems this morning, so we are recording this on Skype, and I'm hoping all will go well. So welcome, Melanie. Thank you for joining me this morning.
Yes, hello, Romola. I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad that we found a solution, even though the major problems, technical problems we had. My camera cut, your camera cut, I mean, you name it. So, but we found a solution. Hopefully it'll work on my mobile. So yes, it's good to be here again after the summer break. And
Wonderful.
indeed, we have important news to share, or I have important news to share, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Now, you recently, I think, took some time off, and I'm glad you did, but certain things occurred, and you have information to share with us about that, right?
Yes, indeed. So I was on holidays with my family, and actually we wanted to do this video for this international. Well, there have been several days, awareness raising days to the problem of domestic terrorism. Perpetrated on ordinary citizens with some, very advanced military technologies, and neuro weapons. And nanotechnology and directed energy weapons. And there had been various days and initiatives dedicated to this. The first one this year, I can remember, was the 31st of July, which was an international awareness-raising day for the victims of cyber torture. And it was supported by the United Nations in the framework of this forthcoming investigation. There was another initiative now a few days ago when I was still on holidays on the 29th of August, I believe. And I noted a few people followed that as well. There were, awareness raising activities around the world. And we couldn't do it at that time because I was still on holidays, and it was difficult to do a video from the location. And there was also, I believe, another attack on your computer at that time.
Yes, I was very much cyber hacked all of last week and this week, actually, and I continue to be, just as unfortunately your PC also appears to be attacked currently.
Yeah, correct. So, but okay, now we're here. And a few days late for the 29th of August day, but I've recently been informed that in the framework of the forthcoming UN investigation on cyber torture, which will be, talked about at the General Assembly of the United Nations, by the Special Rapporteur on Torture, Cruel and Degrading Treatment, Professor Nils Melzer. There apparently October 2020 has been, dedicated or voted being the cyber torture month, awareness raising month. So it is still time. There's always time to talk about these issues. So what I would suggest, Romola, is that in June, actually, the United Nations and Professor Nils Melzer's team had made a call to all of the victims of cyber torture to enter their declarations and medical reports and all kind of evidence that they had on the crimes committed on them. And let's not forget that we're talking here about one of the worst war crimes, I think, ever committed on humanity. And I had indeed also in the framework of my my function as the president of the International Coalition against robotization of living beings and electronic torture, ICATOR. I had submitted a statement, and I had added 30 exhibits, which were mainly medical and legal reports to it. So I think it would be a good idea. What I would like to do today is to read out this statement that is mainly concerning myself, although it has evidence also that concerns ICATOR members, so a group of victims.
Absolutely. So this is your own declaration of being a victim, pretty much, of these brutal assaults with neuroweaponry and directed energy weaponry. So it's your own witness testimonial.
Yes, it is my own witness testimonies, but let's say it is there are a few reports added that concern our members, ICATOR members, who are victims of this kind of terrorism and cyber torture as well. So, but it is mainly my declaration and my evidence. I rarely speak of myself. I mean, my proper case. Or
Yes, you rarely do. I think all of us who are talking about other people, we forget to speak about ourselves.
yes,
But it's so
exactly.
important.
Of course, we're victims of these war crimes as well. And in this case, as the United Nations had asked for victims' declarations and testimonies, well, this is what I personally submitted. So I know we have limited time, but I think it is worth it to go through. And of course, Ramona, as always, you will ask for I mean, questions or for clarification if that's needed. So this is what I submitted.
Okay,
to,
go ahead.
to whom it may concern. I, the undersigned, and I added my identity card, hereby certify being an over a decade-long victim of domestic terrorism. Various aspects of this crime include, first, non-consensual experimentation by applied nanotechnology and biometrics with the aspects of telemetric data recording and monitoring. Physical torture like injuries, blows, burns, wounds that have been applied via high-powered microwave weapons. Organized stalking and criminal harassment campaigns. Illegal psychiatric incarceration attempts, as well as actual deprivation of liberty with forced medication. So since 2008, I have been non-consensually implanted, tortured by nanotechnology and directed energy weapons, and criminally harassed. My home and my car have been regularly illegally entered, my property damaged, and frequent theft has occurred. Various complaints filed with the police Montgomery in Brussels and or the Procureur du Roi, King's prosecutor, have been either met with indifference, suggestions to seek so-called psychiatric assistance, or handcuffed arrests in view of forced psychiatric commitment. I attach medical as well as juridical reports and documents certifying to the above. My children have been illegally removed from my custody under false allegations of so-called psychiatric disorders, resulting in extremely long and costly, still ongoing legal procedures to regain their custody, as well as civil actions for liability and damages against the responsible hospitals and medical professionals. Both have also psychologically as well as physically abused. You will find reports certifying this attached. Being German, I arrived in Belgium after my international business studies with 3 foreign languages, which is English, French, and Spanish. I also speak Dutch, having lived in Belgium for almost 30 years, and Italian. To work for the European Union, that's why I originally came here. And I put as an exhibit the reference letter by the European Commission. Having founded or co-founded various not-for-profit associations, defending rights of victims of electronic terrorism, and I included the founding document for the International Coalition Against Electronic Torture and Robotization of Living Beings, I noticed that citizens coming for professional reasons here from other countries are prime targets for covert technologies and techniques enabling the manipulation of human beings. Are no exceptions to this rule. But below you will find a summary of the chronology of occurred facts. In late 2008, I often wake up with what appear to be bite marks, bruises, and fine scars on different areas of my body. I did not understand these marks until several years later, And it was then when I had them verified by doctors. And I put the medical reports of various dermatologists, in enclosure that certified that there are surgical marks. I noticed with fright that at the level of the mark, there was skin-rejected secretions containing black, blue, pinkish, and white filaments, as well as an oily black liquid with what appeared to be a tiny hard crystals. This was also noticed by Dr. Eric Beath, who is an American doctor, by the way, in the context of an examination related to work incapacity, which I had requested following the disabling severity of my symptoms. And I had attached the report of Dr. Beath. Subsequently, my work capacity was recognized on April 25, 2013 by the FPS Employment Work and Social Dialogue of the Unemployment Office. In 2010, I consulted dermatologist Caroline de Jager at the Medicis Medical Center. She does a biopsy on the surface of my hands, and after microscopic examination, she diagnoses scabies. However, she said she was not sure of this diagnosis. Unable to explain the little black balls coming out of my skin, Dr. de Jager sent me to the Prince Leopold Institute of Tropical Medicine in Antwerp. The report following the consultation on June 16, 2010 completely trivializes these findings and says no anomaly found. I expressed my disappointment to Dr. de Jager about the lack of seriousness of such a renowned national institute. Her reaction says, well, you have become parasitophobic. Itching and the skin discharge worsened dramatically. During a very abundant release of these foreign bodies, I addressed myself to Dr. Mahavaki at the Lewis Medical Center, replacing my usual general practitioner, Dr. Roger Lamboret. Taken aback by the strangeness of the secretions, which is supposed to be a parasitic infection, she sent me urgently to the Prince Leopold Institute of Tropical Medicine in Antwerp to resume all analysis from scratch. Symptom: black balls on the hands, coming out of the hands. Diagnosis: parasitophobia and a possible allergy. That is the report from Dr. Patrick Soon. Yeah, on March 18th, 2011. Since 2010, I've been attacked and tortured with psychotronic weapons. This results in shock waves passing through the body, making it vibrate, an electronic current running through the body, headaches like crushing into a vice, excruciating headaches, and never had one headache before in my life. Strident and incessant tinnitus, extreme cramps and colics, electronically induced pain and involuntary body movements caused by stimulation of the motor cortex, as well as a sensation of needle stick injuries and severe fatigue. Repetition of these medical failures convinces me to conduct the research myself. Very quickly, I turned to the research of Dr. Hildegard Stenninger, a specialist in industrial toxicology and an expert in nanopathology, recognized worldwide, including in the courts. Since the feeling of being progressively strangled, the pain in the neck and the foreign body in my neck, as well as in my tongue, is clearly perceptible and palpable, on October 10, 2014, I turned to Dr. Stenninger, asking her if there is an innovative technology capable of causing these symptoms. Dr. Stenninger answers me immediately, describing innovative nanotechnology composed of crystalline polymers and elastomers, optical colloids, and nanostructure systems developed by scientific programs in certain universities. She prepared a sworn notarial declaration and explained the main characteristics of this technology implantable in the throat and tongue of human beings. And as an exhibit, I added the general affidavit for Ms. Melanie Vritschan by Dr. Hildegard Stenninger. During the same period, a judgment of the Brussels Court of First Instance Youth Court dated 27th of March 2012 took away custody of my son on the basis of a so-called medico-psychological expertise made by psychologist Ms. Magali Zion-Dufran. She declared me delusional, including ignoring 15 witnesses, both professional experts, psychiatrists, and ordinary citizens, contradicting her opinion. In particular, it denies any value to the toxicological conclusions. And in fact, I had this material that came out of my scan analyzed by toxologists at the Leuven University, and they said that it was scientific material, but it could not be completely identified under the microscope. And she says that the tests do not give scientific results. So Ms. Zion-Dufran purely and simply transmuted my dermatological symptoms, duly proven, into paranoid delusions. Later, Philippe van Langendonk, medical law specialist, sent an urgent letter to the public prosecutor concerning illegal practice of medicine by Ms. Zion-Dufran, the psychologist. At the end of the procedure, after declaring me suffering from paranoid delusions under the cover of an alleged medical competence, Ms. Zion-Dufran will ask me for a bank transfer directly to her account, which, according to the National College of Legal Experts from Belgium, is illegal. Information taken at the CNEG, I was told that money can never be asked directly from the defendant. But yet, that's what she did. And she also threatened various times that she, would take this to court if I wouldn't pay. By the judgment of 27th of March 2012, I lose custody of my son. I appeal and learn that my opponent's lawyer has joined the firm Ronchon van Kasten Associés, which was defending me in the first instance. I mentioned this ethical problem to my new lawyer, Hélène Crocard, who advises me against using the bâtonnet so that he decides, as a result of which lawyer Pascal Weten continues to defend my former partner against me. To top it all, after analysis, it turned out that Sylvie Verstraete, first deputy to the public prosecutor at my hearing on March 13, is none other than Sylvie Verstraete, public prosecutor, that is the initiative of my arrest on December 30th, 2013. And at the time, I did an interview with the lawyer and broadcaster and war crimes judge, Alfred Weber, on this issue. To justify herself, Ms. Verstraeten maintains that my mail of November 22, 2013 would have worried her. So there were two lawyers that actually asked her for explanation on this arrest. A few days after this abusive arrest, and to record these facts and serve as a testimony to the Association European Coalition Against Covert Harassment, UCATOR.org, of which I'm a founding member and a member of the board, I write everything down. And so I included this as an exhibit, also this report. During 2016, I was particularly attacked in the stomach and the abdominal region. These attacks result in electronically induced cramps and colics, nausea and vomiting. During these tortures applied especially at night, I often phone activist Jean Verstraeten, no longer knowing what to do to endure these pains. Attacks are facilitated by the implants placed in this region. This fact resulted in the stimulation of growth of artificial tissues and the development of painful lipomas, requiring me to have them surgically removed. On September 14th and December 9th, 2016, Dr. Lipsky removed several lipomas and angiolipomas from the abdominal region, and I enclosed the hospitalization report. Since implants were placed in my eyes, the surgical scars on my eyelids made during these procedures were observed by Dr. André Cuvillier. I have lost much of my excellent visual acuity, direct consequence of this aggression. During an ophthalmological examination, Dr. Benjamin Castel of the Saint-Jean Clinic noticed a vision disorder and prescribed glasses. I furthermore attached a report of a private investigator of the state of Missouri, and she's also specialized in finding advanced materials and nanotechnologies in applied science and engineering. The private investigator attests to my eye implants as well as many other non-consensual devices, and I have attached the report of this private investigator. On October 18th, 2017, I gave birth to my daughter. She was separated from me immediately after birth. Despite the peace judgment pronounced on October 25th, 2017, ordering my immediate release from the psychiatric unit in Hospital Erasmus in Brussels, my daughter was placed in foster care. The legal procedure to get her back took 20 months. As described in this French article by RTBF journalist Philippe Callot. Although my daughter has been home since May 9th, 2019, the youth procedure file is still open with the Brussels Family Court, causing me to file an appeal. Our family dermatologist certified to identical ear scars, which suggests that my daughter has been illegally implanted. So she has the same ear scars behind the ears than myself. And I have, of course, attached a medical report certifying to these ear scars. In the framework of the ICATOR Association, founded by myself, of which I've had the honor to serve as the president, since 2016, we organize radio frequency scannings. These measurements done at a local university, at the Telecommunications and Microwaves Department, are designed to scientifically prove non-consensual implantation. At the last session on February 6, 2020, 3 participants, including myself, came up positive in a shielded environment. That means in a Faraday cage. So my body is giving off radio frequencies in shielded environment. Unless they could be explained by an unknown physical phenomenon, results testify to the fact that our members have been non-consensually experimented on. We, ICATOR and this university, have an ongoing collaboration. New measurements are planned very soon. And I have attached the report of the RF radiation from the human body report that certifies to this. By signing, I hereby declare on my honor that, to the best of my knowledge, the information on this declaration is true and complete. And it was done at Brussels on 21st of June, 2020. So I have handed this in with the United Nations at the required deadline. And I've added all these enclosures. There have been 30 exhibits enclosed with all the medical reports and all the juridical reports. So this is my statement. That is my personal story and declaration. And I very much look forward to the United Nations investigations into these war crimes. It's about time that these horrendous crimes against humanity are investigated. I very much welcome that we now seem to have a UN special rapporteur who takes this matter of cyber torture very seriously. And yeah, we look forward to United Nations investigations and to the information that will be given at the UN General Assembly in October. So I thank you very much to everybody who has listened to me, and thank you again, Romola, for this opportunity that you provided to me to explain my declaration.
Thank you very much, Melanie. I think that's tremendous, and the information that you've just supplied, I think, will inform everybody as to the tremendous ordeal that you have endured over the many past years, and incredible assaults on your family life as well. And many people know your story, at least from the time of the birth of your daughter. And many people are very sympathetic and empathetic toward your story and are horrified at what you've endured. But, as I've said before, always great testament to your fortitude and strength of spirit that you've withstood all these horrific trials, and you're standing up and presenting the truth to the world. And that's tremendous. You're setting an example for everybody. Is there anything further you wanted to add? I wanted to ask you, is there a place where people can go and read your declaration? Is it online?
No, I will actually send it, by email to the United Nations declarations. It's not online yet, because it will obviously be part of the UN investigation, and so I haven't put it online yet. But people have just heard it, and all of the everything, all of my declarations are backed up by evidence and by reports proving to their truthfulness. I wanted to ask you, Ramon, I think it's good to, maybe it might be a bit graphical, but I think it's good to illustrate, the tortures endured by myself and by millions of victims around the globe of these horrendous war crimes. I earlier sent you a few pictures of recent burns, and these actually they're not longer as they're a few days old or young, let's say, so they're very recent. And I think the last one I sent you yesterday, that is what I've been again. I'm regularly burned, especially in my inner thighs and my genital area, like a lot of victims. And to document them, I always take pictures of the burn marks. So maybe you can, to conclude our interview today, maybe you could just, share these pictures if that's possible.
Absolutely. I'm just clicking on it. Yeah. Tell me if you see anything. I clicked the start sharing. Didn't work. Oh, it says stop sharing, so I'm supposedly sharing on some other planet. My computer is so hacked. It's like there are 300 computers. I appear to be on a network, and so when I send a signal, it appears to go to, the Arctic or the North Pole or the South Pole, who knows? So it's not opening on my computer right here. So I can tell that somebody doesn't want us to share these. I'll try one more time.
Otherwise, we could maybe attach them to this.
I definitely could. I could attach it. And in fact, I was going to ask if there's anything else you want to include, like a graphic of the cover of your declaration or any particular aspect of it. We can attach it. And, because this is just a recording, I'll attach it later. But I'm trying to share again. It's not working.
Okay, well, never mind. We'll find another way. But I think there are many of these burn marks pictures on the internet already. So this was just to conclude to, show some really graphical evidence. But if it doesn't work, it doesn't matter. We can edit later.
Yeah.
In any case, I really would like to thank you for giving me this opportunity to do this declaration today. And I'll look forward
You're very welcome.
The link.
Yes, absolutely. You're very welcome, Melanie. And, feel free to do what you wish with this recording when you have it. You probably wish to distribute it to your own networks, etc. And so you're welcome to do that. So first of all, thank you again for stepping forward to do this. Thanks for presenting this declaration to the UN. And, with you, I can only hope that Nils Melzer's acknowledgement and recognition of your declaration and of others around the world can only lead to the complete exposure of these crimes and termination of these crimes. That's really what we want, right?
We will all hope that, and we will be following that very closely. So
absolutely. So thank you again, Melanie. Thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you again very soon. Bye for now.
Yeah, bye. Thank you, Romola.
You're welcome, Melanie.